I'm going to ask Representatives Duran and Williams and Senators Johnson and Jaron to say a few words.
Good afternoon. There is no doubt that we need comprehensive immigration reform in this country, and this is just the first step, so I want to thank you all for supporting this today. Most importantly, though, I want to thank the undocumented students who came back to the Capitol 7 times and never gave up on their American dream. It is your stories that have reminded us of the power of persistence and the value of believing in economic opportunity for all. It is your stories that push us to remember the values that our country was founded on. As our Statue of Liberty says, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to be free. It is your stories that are representative of what the future of America holds. Ustedes son el futuro de esta gran nación. Aprovechen esta oportunidad y que Dios bendiga su camino. It is your stories that have brought us together, Republicans and Democrats, business and labor, higher ed, public schools, to say that regardless of the background that you have, regardless of the neighborhood that you live in, that everyone deserves access to economic opportunity and access to the American dream. And I thank you for not giving up on us. We will not give up on you.
Thank you, Representative Duran. On this proud day in which we witness the signing of the Colorado Asset Bill, it is an honor to be here with all of you today and my colleagues who have joined us on the stage. It's been an honor to carry this bill with Representative Duran, Senator Jaron, and Senator Johnston. I want to thank the Higher Education Access Alliance, Dr. Jordan, all of the educators, the community, and parents throughout the state, and all of the students who put themselves out in front in helping us to ensure that all students have access to a quality higher education in Colorado. Today, we stand on the right side of history. The side of history that says we will make sure that all qualified high school graduates can better afford college. A side of history that says it is high school graduates are eligible to pay in-state tuition. A side of history that says we will all do our part to contribute, because we are all better for having hardworking, aspiring citizens contributing to our communities. President John F. Kennedy said, all of us do not have equal talent, but all of us have an equal opportunity to develop our unique talents. So to all of you out there, working hard and aspiring for greatness, your future will no longer be hindered. So grow, develop your talents, and know that today we are closer to a better union.
If you'll pardon me a second, I want to do something. I've been waiting a long time to take that photo. This is unbelievable. I just want to say thank you so much for everybody who's here. For me, like for many of us, this walk started 4 years ago when I was a high school principal in Thornton. And I was sitting in the high school cafeteria like this during lunch, and one of my students who was about to graduate, had been admitted to college, walked up to me with tears in his eyes and said, "Mr. Johnston, why did you make me do all this?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "I did everything you all ever asked me to do. I came in early, I stayed late, I did extracurricular activities, I was on student council, I got straight A's, I applied to college, I got in, and you know now that that bill just died in the state Senate, this diploma I'm holding isn't worth the paper it's written on." And in that moment, I realized that if we didn't do something, that no matter how hard the teachers and the principals across this state work every day, no matter how hard the kids work every day, no matter how hard the parents work, to guarantee that student promise, we were going to live in a system where they hit the end of senior year and they hit a wall, and those dreams all disappeared. That student right now is working in a fast food restaurant where he's been working for the last 3 years, waiting for the chance to someday fulfill his dream of becoming an engineer. Well, today we're here to tell you that in Colorado, the doors are open and the dream is alive. That the ninth grader who I stood with in Montbello, who was a straight A student his entire life and got to 9th grade and only then discovered that he was undocumented, and then dropped out of high school because he thought, what was there for me? Until some teacher found him, brought him back in, and said, keep working because we will find an answer. For him, I want him to know today, in Colorado, the doors are open and the dream is alive. And for the 3rd grader, who dreams someday of growing up and becoming a teacher or an engineer, for her, who will never have to have that conversation where a teacher or a principal or a parent sits her down and says, you know what, baby, I know you always dreamed of going to college, but I got some bad news for you. For that 3rd grader and every other 3rd grader in this state who will never have to have that conversation. For them who now know they can dream as big as they want and as long as they want, because thanks to the courage of the people in this room, today, with the stroke of a pen in Colorado, the doors are open and the dream is alive. I want to bring up my great friend, partner in crime, amazing advocate for children all over the state, and amazing partner on the asset bill. Pueblo is lucky to have her, Senator Herron.
Wow, no one ever wants to follow Mike Johnston, do you? Speaking, and I have a little problem with my throat, but I am telling you, I wouldn't be any other place. And as I look out in this room, and I see people who have been working on this for more than 10 years, I'm just honored to be able to be here. I see Nita out there. I see Dorian, Lewis. I see so many people that have worked on this. So I am just grateful that I had the opportunity to carry this bill over the finish line. And of course, as I've been saying all along the way, that I am so grateful to former Representative Val Vigil. He had that bold vision, and he took it over and carried that and allowed us to be able to, 10 years later, speaking of bold vision and a leader, I always have to give my gratitude to Dr. Jordan, because also that, what he did and his leadership and the board of this institution has made that easier for us to get the work done that we needed to get done. You know, I've worked on asset or some version of that really for 5 years. 2 years outside the Capitol and then 3 years under the dome. Some of you may know that the first time I ever stepped into the Capitol was to advocate to my legislators to pass this legislation. That was in 2009. And that's what partly inspired me to run for office. So in a sense, this piece of legislation changed my life too. And I know it's going to change many, many lives of people in our state. So I just want to thank you, all of you who gathered here today on this momentous occasion. This bill passed because of the ground game that you all ran to change the hearts and minds of legislators across the state. So yes, I congratulate our governor and my legislative colleagues, and I honor all of those of you who fought for this day to happen. And I honor the power of the people who dared to say, "Sí se puede." So I want us all to look around and remember the faces that are gathered here today. Remember what it felt like for this celebration. And remember that what we learned along the way to get here. And know that there is so much more work to do. We need to be ready. We need to be strong. And we need to be united as people. Sí se puede. Thank you.